Good morning. So last night I decided to nope with this chassis because the servo was hitting the front frame mount constant and it just killed the articulation. Rear springs were really heavy, really strong, stiff. The blue anodized ink pen springs. So I took them off, put softer springs on it. Yeah. The scythe, 3D printed scythe chassis, I snipped off the, I'm digging my pile real quick. I snipped off the top pieces here on the scythe. Took me a little while to get the electronics worked in. The ESC and receiver are both back here, and it's the little micro ESC that I got from Tiny 4x4 for the R32. I'll get into that in a minute. The motor is mounted in the rear. Get the battery off of there because it's just sitting there. Motor is reverse. ESC and receiver are just rubber banded on. Had one my servo lead on the going from the ESC to the receiver was the one that broke. So I had to go through multiple tries at resoldering that and getting that fixed. Has a lot of articulation. This setup has a lot. I don't know why my phone's doing that. Anyway, front and rear, quite a bit. It's like what I do GK 24s, 39s. I mean, that's 2 stacked, 3 tires down, so plenty of articulation. The rear. So I like it. Angle of the rear axle, I've got the drive shaft upward. Unfortunately, the front's the same way, and I don't know if anybody's had to do this yet. That is the absolute shortest drive shaft I've done yet. Absolutely ridiculously short, but works perfect. Servo's downward. Unfortunately, I'll have to dismantle it. I'm gonna paint it yellow anyway, the rails, to match the poozuki body. When I dismantle it to rebuild it, I'm going to possibly, it works really good, so I might not. I was thinking about redoing the angle of the steering because it's pretty low. It's bottom of the axle shaft low, so kind of hinders the performance, I think, just a little. I think it might do better if I tilt the steering upward. But yeah, so far I like it. It works a lot better than it did. without the body, it doesn't work at all. But since this cage was made to fit the poozuki body, once I make mounts, it will work because the body is quite a bit shorter in the rear especially, but yeah, it should work all right. But I was thinking about doing a different cage and not using this one because this one does still fit the normal OH35A01 chassis, and I could use it without a body. Just set that up so you can see, because Suzuki Gypsy, Samurai, Jimny, whatever you want to call it. Using the 120. I don't remember the motor speed. I know I've said that a dozen times about this one. But that's the battery I'm going to have to use. I've got two of them. Now to the other thing. I did cut two of those out. But in order for me to finish this brass biatch, everything pretty much on here was my R32, and my do-rock is also dismantled. I've got it set up for painting. Don't know when I'll rebuild it. Same with R32, same with gaming. Lots of projects unfinished, although get down in the box. Let's see here. There is a D4L in there. There's a servo in it. There's a motor in it. I just don't have drive shafts for it. I thought I did, but I don't. So all I've got is little stubby short drive shafts. I could make some no, and to prove that they are real glass, I broke the back window on accident. Cell phone Gorilla Glass stuff. When I was putting it on, the speaker hit, and if you notice here, yep. Yeah. I haven't done anything to this since I put the roof rack on it and the window covering things. So I figured since I've got so much stuff taken apart right now, I figured I'd put my D4L in it and get it all ready. So it's all in here. There's a speaker in it, the whole setup, and then this bag is the light module out of my tow truck. I don't think I'm going to go back with the D4L in my tow truck, even though it was kind of cool. I'm not sure how I'm going to finish the tow truck, but I want to do some different stuff. But yeah, this is everything out of my R32 is in here. And this thing is pretty much unbeatable right now with my stuff. Not saying the articulation's better than the R32 or the first version of the Scythe that I did, or the long wheelbase version of the Gammy, but the weight, and there's no wheel weights in this at all. It's nothing in here. It just climbs the weight of the brass chassis, and I haven't done a incline test on it, but I mean, I can tell you right now, that's pushing down on my finger at this angle. Still not tipping, still not tipping, right about there. Right about there. There it goes. So, I mean, it's, yeah. Don't know if it's always going to be this good, but I don't know how it'll climb yet. But that right there is pushing on my finger. I'll have to set up my incline board and see how it does on the grip tape. Same paper. Yeah, I ran the antenna wire up through the visor. Thought that was kind of cool. You see the front bar I added on it. Also, to put the brushless in, I had to cut this out here and then make a hoop, and you can see how off center everything is on this. It might look cool and pretty, which, I mean, it is kind of cool and pretty, but no, it's crooked as hell in multiple places. You can really see it in the rear suspension. I had to bend it to get it to set level. But it'll take a beating. It'll take a beating. And it's not too slow as far as top speed. It's not super fast, but it works exceptionally well. I really, really, really like it, and I'm glad I finished it. I do have rubber bands on to hold my shocks on, because these are GK24 brass ball screws. I have one laying up here, I think, somewhere in my pile. I know a lot of people don't like my messy desk, but it's the way I do it. I've got boxes of stuff organized, but yeah, there's two of them. The GK24 ball screws are brass, unplated, versus, here's a double Orlando. I don't know if I can pick them up both at the same time. Just do it with my finger. They are a tiny, tiny bit smaller than the Orlando ones. Ugh, I can see the flux all over my thumb. Anyway, yeah, nice. It spun like a top. Those are soldered in. They're part of the chassis. They don't unscrew. I brazed them in. But yeah, the shock heads don't fit the ball screws very good. Get my finger back here so you can see it move. It's literally, I can just pop it off of there. So I put rubber bands around the top of the shocks to hold them, and the back one is actually not rubber bands. It's rubber O-rings, silicone O-rings that are tied. And it's working. It's keeping them from popping off. I could add a tiny bit of solder to each one of them, then file it down to get them to the right size, but I'm just going to work with it the way it is. I've also got some blobs. Right here's one I got to file down. The front, I already filed it down once and then added more to it because I broke it loose. Same with here. Where else? Right here it broke because it was really thin solder there. A lot of these places where I filed them down, I have a feeling they will break if I bash it too hard. But I mean, I've already drove it all over the place in the house and drove it off of my step into my bedroom. I've got 2 steps coming down into my room. Didn't damage it at all. It actually kept rolling. What was I going to say? All the brass off of my Duroc suspension and axles is on this. The 38 special shell casings, 9mm shell casings, whatever they are, 45s, I don't even remember, 40s. I know the backs are 38 specials. Brass couplers on the front. These are brass couplers. Ammo casings. Extra big links. I don't have brass on the lower links here because I'm out of that size brass. And the only way I was going to get it is to sacrifice it from something else. So I just left them off. It's kind of janky looking, but same. So whole thing is, like I said, it looks nice, but it's really kind of crappy done. It's all brazed together with disposable lighters. But anyway, I'm thinking about just all black on this when I rebuild it, all black on the Duroc. Yeah, not so sure on everything, but I do want to show wheelbase wise the Gypsy. It looks crooked on the camera, but it's actually not. I feel a little shorter than this wheelbase, but don't have it drawn out on this side at all. It's just flat. I might go into the steps of working on that a little here and there. I'm enjoying the roofless version though. It looks really cool like that. And the battery, I have to figure out a battery mount. And this is my swollen battery, by the way. It's one of the puffy ones. My charger broke, by the way. I had to take my charger apart last night for the Orlando's. When I say it broke, I unscrewed it. There's a screw hidden under here. 2 screws here, and checked inside it to see if something came loose because it wasn't charging my batteries. So yeah, kept messing with it, and it took me forever to realize charger's not broken. It is not broken, but look right here. That is wire. That wire. Right there. So I've got to take this apart. If I move it just right, it connects and charges. which is how I got my little batteries charged for the poozuki. And so I don't offend Suzuki lovers. I actually want one in real life. I don't have one. I do love them. The only reason I'm calling this a poozuki is because it's made out of basically crap. The body is just broken stuff and styrene. Yeah. There you go, Fabio. That one's for you. That 3D printer I have is horrible. It hated me the entire time I used it until it died. I still have it. It's still sitting on the other side of the room collecting dust. I don't even want to fix it. I told my son he can have it, and he left it here. So yeah. I don't know. Thinking about doing a paperclip cage and stuff for it. I still need to go back through and fix the paint where I sanded it again and added another coat of yellow. Touch up, put some rust in it, because I did sand a lot of the rust off, most of it. And I can see the white primer in there. And styrene, possibly. I don't know. I don't even remember all the colors that I put on here. I know there's charcoal gray metallic in here. That's one of the base colors. Yeah. Yep, it works pretty decent. It's kind of quick. Ken said that it's got good wheel speed. I think it was Ken that said that. So it does not creep. It is not a crawler. It is not a crawler. That right there is what the OH35A01 chassis would not do on the poozuki. It just did not have flex the way it should. It had the articulation. It had enough articulation. It just didn't have flex up and down in the front without hitting that cross brace. So yeah, I have a snippet of a Orlando chassis right here that's just press fit over a 3D printed piece of plastic as a cross brace, and that is going to be a magnet hold down. I'll cut it again so it's dead center. I think, maybe, I don't know. The rear, I think I'm going to hinge. Not exactly sure. And these actually broke. This right in here is not screwed in, and I'm not even going to worry about it. It's not really causing any problems. It does hit, but that doesn't matter because it really doesn't affect the articulation. And it's just a little Orlando junk box build. And my steering servo's stuck again there. Yeah. I had it running backwards at first. When I put it all together, I put the servo on backwards, had the wires crossed on the motor, and it was running backwards and steering the wrong direction. It was funny. Had to take it all back apart and redo stuff. So, forgot what was what. Yeah. Fabio, print you a scythe chassis. part of the video. I hope you're still watching, because this is what is that? 100. Is that 102 or 103? It looks like 102.5 millimeters. Might as well say 103 is what I printed it at. I have filed and sanded on the rails a little, so 103, and that got the Orlando skid mount holes almost perfectly lined up. I think it's the rear ones I slotted just a tiny bit. But yeah, print you out one. I was surprised to find the file for free, and it actually printed decent for what my printer gave me, which was not very much good. But yeah, I like the idea of it all. I like the build. And it just sits right now. If there's no electronics in it or battery in the front, it sits, the body sits way down on it, and it looks a lot better. But I'm alright with it. It honestly doesn't sit up near as high as it did. It is higher than this one. And someone asked last night, these are off the TO1, or not off of, but for the TO1, the wheels, and I cut the centers out. I cut the centers out right here, and I did not drill them out. Technically, I used my Dremel and ground them out until they were just right. But yeah, those are the Scania TO1 18-wheeler wheels, and I reversed them. It gives it the deep offset, which gives it pretty wide track. But anyway, I'm gonna shut up. I can ramble on forever. There's almost 30 minutes. Finally dried, so I can start sanding on that some more. Other than that, that's it for now. Thinking about a roll cage and stuff. Anyway, go do some stuff. I'm going to.